Happy Halloween! Ah, 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 ah. For a very special episode of You've Got an Hour, today we're going to be having a crossover with another podcast. Yes, this is Jamie Lee Curtis. Just kidding. Jamie Lee Curtis is, I don't think she has a podcast. She should have a podcast. I'd listen to it. But this is The Horror and the Hesitant. And within the framework of theirs, they watch a scary movie every single episode and dissect it completely. But one of the people is, dare I say it, hesitant about horror movies. Let's dive right in. Meeting all three of them at the same time. This is the co-host for The Horror and the Hesitant. Well, everybody muted themselves. Well, that's not the way to start. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Hey, everybody. Thanks for being on my show.
Hey.
Thanks.
So there's three people here with me. Would you like to introduce yourselves?
No.
Sure.
Tierney said no.
No.
I'm Tierney. Yeah, that's really all you need to know about me.
Yeah, it's a
I know
single
Adam.
word like Adele. It's just Tierney.
It's
Just Tierney. It's like sparkles and glitter next to it.
Yes.
It's
And
actually her
shooting
stripper
shirts
name.
out of a cannon, you know?
It's actually
Okay,
her
we've got-
stripper name.
Is it really? I
Yeah.
didn't know that this whole time. Wow.
I go by my given name.
Birth certificate name only.
We've also got Kelly and Jeremy here. No one else wants to introduce themselves. That's okay. Now, what's the name of your podcast? The
Horror and the Hesitant podcast.
Horror and the Hesitant?
Horror.
Okay, I was like, now, because that's something different. Tierney's really running with this all of a sudden.
The horror and the hesitant.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're gonna roll with something fun out the gate here. Usually we start with games, and this is like a getting to know you section because we're gonna talk about a movie that we've all collectively watched in the back half here. So first and foremost, I want everybody to name your favorite crossover because that's basically what's happening today. Is when two podcasts come together, it's like a crossover, I guess. We'll start with you, Tierney, since you're not prepared.
Crossover?
Yeah.
Like,
I
All
can't
right.
think of a podcast one, but I can I can think
No,
of other
not a
ones.
podcast. No, I don't know a single one for that.
Wasn't there one with like Jimmy Neutron and Fairly Odd Parents?
There was.
There
That's
was.
There certainly was.
that's definitely mine.
Oh, man.
Honestly, the only thing that comes to mind is the cast of Clue being on the show Psych, and they did like a Clue kind of episode on the TV show Psych. That's all I
That
got.
might be the most you answer I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Jeremy, what's yours?
So for me, it'd have to be Lord of the Rings and Magic the Gathering did a crossover.
Everybody's was
Oh.
very telling of who they are. That was incredible.
I'm a nerd. I'm a nerd.
Mine hasn't happened yet. It's going to be Abbott Elementary with It's Always Sunny. I love It's Always Sunny. I
I
cannot
saw
wait.
that. I saw that.
That's great.
And I don't understand how it's going to work. Anyway, it's not a plug for that show. They haven't hired us, so who cares?
They have their own marketing team.
Yeah, they don't need me. They definitely don't.
If you are listening, he's a great podcaster. He would love to be on the show.
Okay, Jeremy, I'll pay you after. Okay, so what's everybody's favorite scary movie or Halloween movie? Because, Jeremy, you're the hesitant. So, like, did you like horror movies before you started this?
No, not at all. Actually, growing up, I have a deep hatred for Chucky, and that haunted me for like 33 years of my life.
Yeah, okay. So this is going to be a challenge for you to answer, and I want to hear yours first.
Yeah. Favorite horror movie so far, actually, The Witch.
Oh, that's a good one. The
Yeah.
Bitch.
Yeah,
Yes.
The
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 bitch.
goat.
The Witch.
Wouldst thou like to live deliciously?
Yeah.
I still think about getting that as a tattoo, but it might not be a good idea.
I can't. Kelly, what's your favorite?
It's hard. There's so many.
You got to pick just one.
Name 3.
All right.
Oh, look at me immediately caving.
Stick to it.
Lies! You must pick one.
I think top 3 would probably be VHS, the original.
What? What do you mean? A VHS?
VHS.
Like a cassette tape?
It's called VHS. It kind of
Oh.
circles around. VHS tapes. It's like an anthology series. That one's really good.
Never heard of it.
Give it
That
a,
has
give
got
it
to
a
be.
shot. It's good.
Okay, what is it?
It's like a it's like these pranksters. They're kind of like trying to film their own like jackass. Go into like somebody's house and break in to find these
Whoa.
tapes. And they start watching the tapes, and the tapes just have really like obscure horror deaths on them.
Are you talking about The Ring?
No, but
I mean,
I'm
close.
just kidding.
I guess of 2000s movies, The Ring would probably be next. That's another good one for horror movies.
Yeah. All right, you don't have time for 2 more. Tierney, what's your favorite?
Scream.
Which one?
Always. The first one.
Oh, you want to see Drew die?
Always.
Same.
She just likes what's that guy's name? Matt Dillon.
Matt Dillon. You mean Skeet Ulrich?
Is that his name?
Were you thinking Matt Damon?
Well, there's Skeet Ulrich, and then there is Matthew Lillard.
That guy,
Oh,
Matthew
Matthew.
Willard. That's what I was thinking of.
Shaggy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, he played Shaggy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That would be my favorite horror movie.
Okay. Yeah, that was pretty scary. Oh, that's a great segue. I was going to ask, what's a movie that isn't horror, but you think should be horror?
Does it have to be a movie? Can it be a show?
It could be a show. That works.
I got
All right,
one.
Teletubbies.
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I hate the Teletubbies.
That baby. Just
The baby.
It's the vacuum cleaner for me when it like goes through all the rooms and then it like tickles their butts and then it leaves.
it just wants to sniff farts.
Okay, I'm gonna be real. I don't think I've ever watched the Teletubbies. So to find that out at this age that a vacuum came in touching babies' butts is a little terrifying. That should be a horror show.
Should be. Do you guys have another one?
Oh, the Magic School Bus.
Oh.
That would be.
How dare you?
But think about it.
You go
Miss
and
Frizzle was crazy and like.
start
What?
going into like dead bodies. And
Yeah.
shit.
No. She takes them on
Wow.
an adventure and they die one by one.
Oh,
Oh, I'm into that. That I like.
mine is the Brave Little Toaster.
I knew you were going to say
And
that.
I will not be elaborating on that. I will not be elaborating on that.
Please don't. I leave it as is. Leave it open ended. I also love that we drew the line at like it's fine for kids to die off one by one, but they can't have a vacuum cleaner.
Don't even think about that vacuum cleaner touching them.
I have an honorable mention.
That's too
What's
much.
your honorable mention?
The Jimmy Neutron movie when all the adults had like turned into chickens. They had like chicken heads on them.
Oh,
yeah, that's another one.
Mm.
That was pretty scary, but honestly, his forehead really scared me quite a lot as a child. I thought, oh, this hairline, I am stressed.
He didn't know about a nice down do yet.
Yeah, they didn't know that.
No,
It would be
I don't know why he
maintainers.
would add height to it. You need to put the height the other way.
He was stuck in like that when you're in grade school and you got like the spiked up just
Oh
the
my
front of the
God,
hair.
yes, just the flip.
You mean me right now?
Wow.
Yeah, but that's natural. It looks beautiful.
Oh, thanks.
Jimmy's is like 6 feet tall.
He had a full giraffe on top of his
He
head.
really did.
So I know that your stuff is horror themed, so we're gonna go that route with these questions. What's your favorite horror genre?
Ooh, mine's definitely found footage or like artsy folk horror.
Artsy folk, like Lana Del Rey?
Yes,
He's terrifying.
but think she jumps off a bridge beautifully,
Yes.
and there's no water at the bottom; it's just concrete.
But the gator still shows up because
Yes.
she's in that relationship with the gator.
Of course.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tierney, give me a genre.
Satire.
Mm.
Oh, okay. Now, are we talking like serial mom kind of satire or what?
Well, technically, Scream is a satire, but think like
That's true.
Scream, The Menu, Ready or Not. I'm a big fan of those.
Yeah, those are solid. What about you? I know this isn't really your foray, Jeremy, but it's your podcast, so suck it up.
have no choice.
I haven't had my favorite yet because I'm still a little baby when it comes to horror, so I don't really have one.
Well,
yet.
you like
I was gonna say his favorite is the one that's least scary.
Yeah,
comedy.
Yeah,
his
comedy.
would definitely be comedy.
like scary movies. That's where it is.
You like campy horror.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I have several recommendations for you. Begin with Serial Mom. It's hilarious.
like teeth.
No, not teeth. Where did the teeth come in?
Are you
The
talking,
movie.
You're talking about the one where she's got teeth in her vagina?
Yeah.
Oh Lord. Oh my. Wow.
I don't think
Or-
that's a comedy.
Or what about the one with the killer lazy boy chair?
Yeah, that's more what I'm thinking of.
You talking about Pee Wee Herman's house?
Well, I mean, that would be another great horror show. Pee Wee Herman's house?
It would be.
Yeah.
It would be. I think in some countries it is considered one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might be.
So, what's your favorite horror trope that you see in a film? Like something that you love to see?
The broken high heel when they're running away.
Oh, gets me every time.
Classic. I'm like, you stupid female.
I like
I love. No, go ahead.
This happens all the time.
It really does.
Well, there's 3 of you. I don't know how the bloody hell to keep track of this.
Yeah. I think my favorite is like the running and then they just like fall comically. Always.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like when they run upstairs or they go try to hide somewhere really dumb.
Yes.
Like in the shed with all the tools.
I love it when a token person gets killed first. Okay, moving on. Your favorite? I'm gay. I meant it in terms of a gay person. no
Very,
one else.
very 2000s.
They're like, yes.
Or even just the movie It. It did it too, you know?
Mhm.
What's your favorite horror death you've ever seen on film?
Oh, that's
Ooh.
Don't say Psycho. Don't say Psycho.
Nora from Carrie.
Oh,
Fuck that bitch. I will take that to the grave. I have beef with that actress.
I think you just have beef with the hat. I don't
Yeah,
think you have
no,
beef with
f-
her.
I love that Jeremy hasn't really had an answer for any other question, but I'm like, someone dies and Jeremy's immediate. Like, he is on the death train today. Got it.
I think mine would be from the movie Tusk.
Oh, spoilers.
When spoilers about to happen. After he turns into the walrus, and I think he like drowns. Or no, he didn't. Oh no, he didn't die. Didn't he just
No,
live his
he
life
just
as a
was
walrus?
yeah.
His human body died. I'm gonna go with that because that was crazy.
Horrific.
That was after shit.
Is this a bad time to tell you that I've never seen the movie and
Ooh.
you've totally ruined it?
Well, it's been out for over 10 years, so
I'm totally joking. I know that on your podcast you guys always are like, spoiler alert, you know. I love
Yeah.
that sound. You should keep that every time. Tierney, do you have a favorite horror death?
No, not really.
That's a lie. It's Drew
Wow.
Barrymore.
It's a good one. It's not like a
I
favorite.
have another.
I can't think of a favorite.
Oh my God, Jeremy's got another one.
Yeah, I do. Paris Hilton in House of Wax.
Oh,
Oh,
That's a
yes.
good
That's an
absolutely.
iconic scene. Like she really
It's a great one.
played that.
I love that. Well, nobody asked me what the horror thing that isn't something horror related, but should be. Mine's Willy Wonka.
Oh.
ooh, that would be a
Mm.
good one.
Also, Home Alone. That is technically
Oh.
horror, everything he's going through, and they play it off like it's a light comedy, like it's a freaking Hallmark
mean-
movie. And I'm like,
I laugh every year when I watch that movie.
Me
Like, I
too.
belly laugh. I
Me
belly
too.
laugh.
if you were going through it though, like that experience would be so traumatic and also like not funny in the slightest.
Yeah.
So watching it and laughing every year, I'm like, we're like sick.
I remember when I was in my like mid 20s and I had gotten my first place by myself. I was in the middle of the woods, like in a house alone, and I would go to sleep.
Why did you choose that?
Because it was only like $400 rent. So
Oh, great reason.
listen,
Yeah,
and
I'm
everything
moving too.
included, you can't complain.
Including the murderer.
Yeah,
I was
but I
gonna say, I was like, does that include the murder?
Anybody that came to my house knew that I kept 7 hammers behind my bed. I was ready. I was ready.
Do you have 7 arms?
No, but I got some toe, appendages. I could probably throw a hammer.
I guess you could throw them. Was it like to throw them?
I think I just like kept putting one behind there, and I forgot there was one back there, so I just kept putting another one back there.
Wow. Your bed must have been really comfortable.
Like an arm reach behind me, and I just chuck it like a javelin.
You're the original axe throwing bar.
Yes, exactly. I wasn't sleeping on the hammers. They were just close enough to make me feel comfortable.
There you go. We love a security blanket, even if that blanket is made of metal and wood. So tell me, how did you 3 meet each other?
So Tierney and I have been friends since
babies.
womb life.
Since Teletubbies tickled your bottom.
Yes, since the vacuum came
Exactly.
and touched us and we trauma bonded over that.
That's why you don't remember it. Sorry to bring it up today.
I actually trauma blocked it out. And Jeremy and I met on Bumble in 2017.
17, yeah.
And we've been together ever since.
Yeah.
Oh, was this when you lived in the house with the,
Yes.
the hammers?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then she tried to friend zone me, and then I did what every guy does and saying, "Hey, babe, give me one more shot."
He did.
And then
He really did.
then I
Wow.
took her to New York City.
Very white cis male of you.
Yeah.
To take you to New York City.
I did.
Yeah. Take me to the Museum
then
of Natural History.
My favorite part about that whole story was like, yeah, it's only like 2 blocks away. We walked for 40 minutes in the rain.
From Penn Station.
From Penn Station all the way to the Museum of Natural History.
Yeah.
Oh, you really did go there.
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah, that was
Yeah,
like
no, yeah.
our second, or
Our
that was
second date,
after.
yeah.
Right after I rejected him in friend zone, I was like, listen, I just think like maybe we're better as friends. He told me he was really upset, so he went home from work that day.
I did.
And was like, listen, just let me take you on a date. And
Make it
if it
worth
works,
your
it
while.
works. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. And he charmed his way in. And now we've been married for a year.
Oh, happy
Gaslighting
anniversary.
works.
Wow.
Wow.
I don't know if that's the message there.
Okay. We're swerving out of that very quickly. When you went to the night of the museum, or whatever the hell it's called, did everything come to life or was that fabricated?
Only Harambe's exhibit did.
Yeah, R.I.P.
Oh, wow. We're really just going there today, aren't
Yeah,
we?
but like also fuck that kid. Anyway, I'll die on that.
Oh my
hill.
gosh.
I'm about children dying apparently.
Honestly, if
You
that
really are.
If that museum did come to life and you're in like the aquatic exhibit and there's that big whale on the
Oh,
there's a
yeah.
life-size, like 2-scale whale hanging from the ceiling at a part of the thing. And if that thing came to life, you kill a lot of people.
Well, growing up, my dad said that was held by paper clips, so if I stood under it, I would die. So
Wait,
yeah.
where are you living these days? Are you in New York City?
No.
We moved out of New York last year. We actually live in Eastern Tennessee now.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, quaint.
Were you affected by the hurricane?
Well, not
Uh,
our area, but
We were about 30 minutes from the nearest like town collapse.
Yeah.
So we were close, but luckily we didn't get affected.
Yeah, I'm glad you're okay. Oh, it literally says 10 minutes are left. It's because we took so long to set up. So I'm sorry. We're going to rush through the rest of these questions, I guess. My God.
Luckily we're ready for the second half.
Yeah, we are. We're very, are we ever? What a teaser. Yeah, we watched Ginger Snaps. And that is so, I can't wait to talk about it with you guys. Okay, so I hear an accent sometimes between you two. Tyranny has it sometimes too. Are you all from upstate New York?
yeah.
We are.
You're
Well,
not.
I'm not. I'm from New York City. I'm from the beautiful borough of Brooklyn, New York.
Oh, that was my Brooklyn accent. There was no words, just that.
It was
It
beautiful.
was beautiful. You sounded just like my mother.
Oh, Jeremy. Jeremy, we have a bone to pick because in the first episode, which is all I've heard so far of your podcast, you said that birds are not real, and I need you to tell me why.
Okay.
Wait, he was hoping you would
yeah,
ask
I
him this.
really would hope.
I told
So-
him I was between Ginger Snaps or we were gonna watch Birds, and he was like, "Man, I hope somebody asked me about them birds being real."
So, all right, be me, 2020, going to work.
Oh, we're getting a whole setup. Hold on 1 second. Excuse me, cut to black, fade in. Here's Jeremy in 2020. Okay, go for it.
Driving in my little Kia, and then I notice the birds on the power lines. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
That's the first time you ever noticed birds before in your
Yeah,
life?
apparently that was my first time of just seeing birds. I'm like, oh, wow.
Jeremy, we got to get you out the house more, my friend.
Yeah. And so
He just got a job, so
yeah,
he's gonna
yeah,
get out more.
yeah.
Okay,
So-
okay, good. Congratulations.
Thank you. So I would pass these birds every day, and no matter rain, sun, like snow, they'd be in the same place. And I'm like, after a while, I'm like, these motherfuckers ain't real. And so one time passing them, I called Kelly. I'm like, Kelly, these birds aren't real. Like, you cannot convince me they're not. And they're government spies. And that was pretty much why I don't believe the birds are real.
Jeremy, as a follow-up question, where were you January 6th?
Okay. Next question.
Moving on. Yeah. Wow, I didn't know that we were going to have a QAnon conspiracist on today, and I'm so excited that, Jeremy, you could really unpack something so nonsensical. Are you still really thinking birds aren't real?
I believe that they are real,
Okay.
except if you're a pigeon. Because where are the pigeon babies?
Probably in their nest.
Yeah, but have you ever seen a little baby pigeon?
No, because they hide them very
Exactly.
well. But
Exactly.
have you seen any baby bird? Like, have you seen a baby
Yeah.
hummingbird?
I have.
No, you have.
Have you really?
Yeah. My mom used to feed hummingbirds.
Oh, babies?
Like she would just feed them.
Jeremy, remember the baby hummingbirds? Come and look at it. Drink your sugar water.
I heard the greatest conspiracy is that COVID wasn't actually people getting sick. It was the great battery change in the birds.
Yeah.
And they needed everybody to stay in their homes long enough to change all the batteries and nobody questioned it.
Okay, we're going to very quickly divulge from this because I can't. I can't even begin with that.
What a podcast of just
I heard that from somebody. I was like, whoa.
You're about to get a new demographic.
Yeah, I'm about to be very concerned for my own safety. So, you guys famously spoil movies, and you already spoiled one today for me, Kelly, and I'd like for you to do it again. Everybody, pick a movie in your head and spoil it for us. And we're going to guess what movie it is, so don't say the name. Okay, I'm going to start, and you're going to guess what it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Long ago. Wait a minute. It's not long ago at all, actually. That sounded like Star Wars. Yeah, I know. No, I can't. My voice isn't low enough for that. Yeah, so there's this professor, and he builds a bond with someone much younger than him for years and years and years. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, he's like,
Back to the
you know
Future.
what? Nope, but good guess. He's like, yeah, you should kill me. And the kid is like, I'm not going to do it. So then he makes one of the teachers kill him. And he falls in front of the whole school
I know what it is.
and is dead. And then they end the film.
I don't know if they ended the film, but I immediately thought of Harry Potter. That's probably
It is Harry Potter, but it's at the end that he dies.
Oh,
sick.
Now, which one?
Deathly Hallows.
It's not the last one. No.
Half-Blood Prince. You guys were right there
That's-
at it.
Yeah.
What I was thinking.
Yeah.
All right, Tierney, go.
Why do you keep putting me on the spot with things like this?
Because I know you don't like it.
Fine, I'll go because I'm trying to. I'll go because I'm trying to steal this movie before Tierney does. All right, so there's like this person that lives in the woods, and he just wants peace, and they just don't give it to him, you know. And he gets these woodland animals and these weird.
Oh, it's Lord of the Rings.
It's not close though.
Oh, yeah, the Shire's not the woods.
Finds out about this, woman that needs help from her very short soon-to-be husband, and he goes and rescues her, and she's just like this total independent woman, don't need no man, he don't need her.
Wow.
They fall in love, and they start talking about something about onions.
Is this us? Oh,
Oh,
Shrek.
Shrek!
I said,
Holy
is this us?
cow.
Oh, Shrek.
I love me some
I
Shrek.
would not have guessed that at all until you said the onions.
Yeah. I felt like that was gonna be really hard if I didn't say something that kind of made sense.
Yeah. Yeah, you were very ambiguous. Okay, now, Tierney.
This is panic.
It's Lost.
I'm like looking at my collection of DVDs right now.
Okay, we'll come back.
Okay.
Jeremy, what's yours?
All right. So it's about a team of 4 people. They all
Power
have beautiful
Rangers.
mustaches.
Oh.
They chug syrup. And then...
Oh, Super Troopers.
Yeah.
Whoa. Clearly you're married because you got that, like, immediately.
You ever play like Taboo? Jeremy and I will beat anybody.
Yeah. I will...
We really made my parents mad playing that game together one
Yeah.
day. I thought my mom was going to divorce my dad that night.
Yeah.
Because of the way you played the game?
Yeah, it's like, Jeremy and I can say one word and understand what we're trying to describe. And my mom was trying to do the same thing. And my dad's just like, huh?
Huh?
He just wasn't getting it.
I love to see rifts happen with families. Thank you for sharing that. Tierney, what's your movie?
All right. We have a man that wakes up in a dingy room with a shackle on his ankle, and across from him is another. There you go.
Come on.
Yes! We
When you
got
said
it.
there was a man that woke up in a dingy room, I was like, me, circa 2009, after graduation.
Jeremy around the birds.
Yeah, me around the birds.
We'll be right back.
Hi, everyone. This is Linda LaFaye, and I've always got something to say. Today's topic is about moderation. I find it helpful to do everything in moderation. Is it always easy? No. But it's an easy concept, and it'll help you be a better you. The only thing that needs to be done big is a big cup of water. And yes, I'm guilty of living on the edge of dehydration. But you know that you know when you're overdoing it. Like overspending, over collecting your precious items. Guilty. Overthinking something, and especially your negative self-talk. Now you know that's just unhealthy. So you just need to stop it. You need to talk nice to yourself. Obsessing about your weight, exercise, staring at fluffy people and judging them. You just need to stop that. If you'll just try it, I'm pretty sure you'll find it just might help. Am I guilty of having too much stuff? I already told you I was. Do I eat the wrong things? Sure I do, but I'm trying not to eat a bucket of it. Let's just try to be a better me. You try to be a better you. Instead of wasting precious time hating on ourselves and on other people. You're welcome.
That was a word from my mom, and here's a word from my dad.
Happy Halloween.
All right, we're going to hop right back into it. Now, we watched the movie Ginger Snaps, and so the rest of this dialogue is going to follow how their podcast runs. They watch a movie, and then they talk about it. If you haven't seen Ginger Snaps, this will be a funny conversation, but you'll have more context if you go and watch it. It's on Peacock currently, so highly recommend you see it. Pause this, then come back to it. I like to press the record button at random times just to freak everyone out. So, here's what we're going to do. This is a segment that I have recurring on the podcast. When you're backing out of a awkward situation, what's the noise that you hear? Tierney first.
Beep, 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 beep.
Okay, Jeremy?
I just hear like, ha, ha, ha.
I can't tell if someone's like about to vomit or if the ground is shaking. Like, I don't know what is that noise.
That's it, up to the artist's interpretation.
I love it. Okay, Kelly, what do you hear?
I create the awkward situations, so I'm just kind of like, bye.
Okay, now everybody say theirs at the same time. 1, 2, 3.
Beep,
Oh.
beep, beep.
I started laughing too hard at Jeremy.
Yeah, Kelly, you didn't do it at all, and I loved that. That was so
She
fun.
just went.
That was chaos. Now, let's really get chaotic. And when I say let's get chaotic, I mean let's snap like Ginger. That was such a fun movie, wasn't it, guys?
It was great.
I think I got physically angry at a couple
Yeah.
points.
Yeah, it's hard not to. I just love that of the options that I gave for us to watch, that everyone agreed to this movie, and don't you regret it?
No. Tierney tells me, she's like, all right, it's one of these two. And I'm like, well, I've never seen Ginger Snaps, so let's try that one.
What I'd love to do is have one of you try to describe succinctly what the movie is. I have a synopsis written down, but I don't want to use it. I want someone to try and...
I want Jeremy to do it.
I would
Me?
love that.
All right. So it's about these two girls. All right. Two girls named Bridget and Ginger. Ginger obviously has to have red hair because, you know, that's the whole thing. They have this weird pact where they're just going to die at 16, like every edgy teenager. They make kind of faces throughout the whole movie. Dude,
This is a podcast. No one knows what face you made.
anyway,
time.
so they have a suicide pact. They decide to go out in the woods after her mom and dad are like, please don't go outside. They immediately do. She gets bit by this random fucking dog, and you're like, oh, what is this dog? Some guy hits it, and he's just like, oh shit, that's a 12-inch penis, because he did reference it.
Hits it with his car, not
Yeah.
hits it with his hand or something. He's not like,
Yeah,
bad
yeah.
dog, it's slap.
Yeah. And then so just annihilates this thing like a deer on the interstate. And then some weird things go on. She apparently gets her period in this moment. Then she's lusted for blood after that. After she was bit, by the way. She was bit. Then she gets her period.
I want this
gets
put
mad.
as it is in the Blockbuster back of the DVD. Like I want exact
This is-
wording.
This is it.
This is so on par for him
Yeah.
describing something. I can't even explain it to anybody.
And so she gets her period. She gets mad that she got her period because she's finally a woman. Really mad about that. Then she just becomes a horn dog for one kid. Then they decide to murder one of their classmates after all the fucking dogs go missing. And yeah, then she gets turned into a real life werewolf. And her sister's like, if we're going to do this, we're going to do this together. And the power of friendship happens where she also gets the infection. And they ride off into the sunset after the one sister stabs the other Ginger to death. And yeah, that's Ginger Snap.
That was incredible. Jeremy, 5 stars. Several notes, a couple of notes for you, but no. Next, Jeremy will be describing our grocery list without naming the items. Didn't you kind of feel like, I honestly, after I watched it, I was like, do you think this is what Trump watched before and thought this was set in Springfield or something? Like, he's like, they're eating the dogs. Like, he watched this movie and mistook it for news.
Now that I'm looking back on it, I'm like, they were eating the dog. All the dogs are dead.
They actually showed it to him, but it was a newscast. They put a newscast thing around it, and that's what he thought was happening.
I was one Google search away of going down.
Wow, thankfully you stuck with the birds and not Ginger Snaps. It really is a weird movie. It's sort of like a Tampax commercial gone all the way wrong, don't you find?
Yeah, and I love how she just slowly turns into Rogue from X-Men throughout the movie.
I also love that I asked the question about Tampax and immediately Jeremy goes, yeah. I'm like, we have women in the room, and Jeremy's like, yeah, no, it's absolutely that.
Jeremy's bought a lot of products over the years.
I saw.
I do trust.
Worked
Good for you.
Also worked in a supermarket for 16 years. I'm your guy if you need help.
No, I love it. I love it. So I want to start out by
Don't be afraid.
what just happened. Why did it say don't be afraid?
Well, I'm saying don't be afraid to buy feminine
Oh my
products.
God, I thought I hit something on my computer and it said that.
Don't be afraid.
I was like, why am I not afraid? What am I not afraid of?
It was actually the birds talking to you through the thing. Nobody actually said that.
Oh
Look
my
outside.
God, there's one in the room. We have to talk about your favorite character in the film. Let's not all jump on it at once.
Mine would be the drug dealer. I think his name was Sam.
Me too. I loved him. He was iconic and kind of hot.
Yeah.
I was about to say he was a hottie patati, so that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's also the guy from Final Destination 3. If anybody liked Final Destination 3.
Ooh, a deep dive for me. Is that the one where they get stuck in the tanning beds?
Oh, I love
Yes.
that one. Oh,
Yes.
that's my favorite.
Actually, both the guys are in Final Destination 3.
That kind of makes sense. It seems like this is sort of the lane that they would go down, you know, being tortured.
I don't know about you guys, but the one that Ginger slept with, he looked just like Chase from Zoe 101, and I don't know if
He
that's the same
straight up
person.
did, and it's not the same time period because I looked it up. Like, I don't understand. I think the guy still looks like that. Maybe he's a vampire, you know?
Interesting. Yeah, because I said that as soon as I saw him. I was like, is that Chase from Zoe 101?
Literally look just like him. You're so right.
Yeah.
Did anyone have any other favorites, or is that collectively our favorite?
I kind of liked and disliked the mom.
Yeah.
I just liked that she was kind of quirky, but she was like hella, I don't know, out of check, I guess.
She's like, I'm glad that my parenting style really helped you ladies blossom.
She was also getting ready to off the dad.
Oh, yeah, she wanted to kill him immediately.
She's like, oh, your father would never understand. And I was like, what?
Yeah, that was so unhinged. She literally was like, your dad's not going to understand what you're going through, so let's kill him.
Let's
Yeah.
blow up the house with him inside.
Like, she thought about this. Like, that mom
She was ready.
doing her little Pilates every morning is like, I'm
Her
going to kill
little
my husband
curly
one
bangs.
day.
She's been praying that this happens, and she saw
Yeah.
the opportunity and she ran with it.
See, and that's how the horror story of Miss Frizzle begins.
Yeah.
Because
Oh.
she's basically one step away.
Not you bringing it back.
An honorable mention in that movie for my favorite character was the janitor. I loved him. He was so he was just so funny. He was just like, "Oh, hello," and then like just doing his thing, like average Joe.
You know, I have to say, actually, my favorite character, she's in the film for a total of 47 seconds. It's the first mother that finds the dead paw of the dog, and she's got the kid in the sandbox. It's the beginning of the film. And,
Yep.
like, so something's going awry in the town, and she sees the kid. He's got blood all over his mouth and a dead dog's paw, and she just carries him like nothing's going on to look for the dog. I'm like, you're not going to wipe the blood off. We're not concerned. Like,
She also
No.
doesn't know how to rake leaves. Did anybody else notice that?
at all.
I said that.
No, that's
What
exact.
happened?
That's exactly how I would rake leaves too. You rake it and then pick it up with your hands. Like,
Yeah, but she like did like the bait. I'm not getting into this with you. I've seen you do yard work.
But she like carried it across the yard. Like, why not rake to that pile? I don't.
And was I the only one that I felt like she was about to kill the kid after she raked up the leaves? Because the way she was looking at him was a little. She looked a little hungry. I don't know what was going on there.
she had the eye.
I honestly, for the longest time in the film, thought the younger sister with that terrible wig, who is now that wig owner, is in charge of all Nicole Kidman's wigs, constantly employed. Yeah, I thought she was killing everyone for a long time because of her facial expressions. I was like, what is and then she didn't do it, and I was like, oh, that was sad. I wish that had been the twist.
With her character, I was like, wow, the facial expressions and acting is so
I love
bad, but it fits.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm not going to complain about it.
Some of her facial expressions are like when, like, I'm cooking chicken nuggets in the microwave and they come out wrong, and I'm just like,
Well, famously, Jeremy, she famously was eating chicken nuggets on set. That's before every take. Anyway, that was a joke.
yeah.
Oh, that would have been wild if that was
That
true.
Yeah,
would've been
imagine her favorite
crazy.
meal: chicken nuggets, French fries. She's like, "Give me the kids menu from Friendlies."
So here's an interesting fact I looked up. First of all, Scarlett Johansson was supposed to be in this film, but the Canadian casting directors banded together to boycott the casting of this film. And so they had to go to like an LA office to cast it. That's what I read. It's Wikipedia, so it could be wrong. And then they found these two girls. But these two girls that are playing sisters, they grew up together. They had the same agent. But Ginger, although she plays an older person than the sister, she's 4 years younger than the other girl. And you can tell.
I was gonna say-
You can tell. That other girl looks about 45.
Yeah, well, that girl probably was smoking like 8 cigarettes a day.
I'm kind of still thinking about the wig.
Oh, it will not leave my brain. I can't unsee it. It's horrifying. That was the scariest thing in the film.
It was my favorite fact when I was like looking up facts for the film, and it was like Bridget wears a wig, and I was like, no shit.
Yeah, obviously.
Wait, where was this fact? That's amazing. Someone typed that and submitted
Yeah.
it.
It's on IMDb.
Wait, now I want to read all the facts. That is so funny and unhinged. So what do you think the budget for the film was?
It was made by Lionsgate, so I'm going 3
Was it?
million. Yeah.
Crazy because it looks like it was made for about $5.
I was saying about 350 and a Big Mac.
Yeah, truly. Some chicken nuggets, and that's about it.
Chicken nugget meal at McDonald's.
As I was watching it, I was like, do you think they told anyone in this neighborhood that they were filming this? Like, because they're really screaming and stuff, like, out loud in the middle of these places. I'm like, these neighbors must be freaking out right now. And then I looked it up, and they were freaking out. Like, they got in a lot of trouble for some of the stuff. Like,
Really?
people were, like, hiding their kids, and yeah.
The scenes where they were like pretending to be dead and they're taking photos, they shot in someone's house, and they kept having to like take this little kid and hide them whenever the girls would go move around the house or something.
Tierney, you better come prepared. I love it.
Oh, I got my facts.
She's our fact person.
Yeah.
I love it.
Who's your least favorite character of this movie?
Oh, God, Ginger. I thought Ginger was insufferable.
She got really clingy and jealous at the end, and I don't love that.
I did love, honestly, the way that she killed that. Well, she actually didn't kill her, but the girl that died in her house and how
Yeah.
they handled that. So, anyone that hasn't seen it, you need to watch it. But, like, literally, the girl slips on a pile of milk that was spilled and hits her head on the counter and bleeds out. And they act like they're staging a death or something. And, like, Ginger's like licking up the blood, and she's like, Dad, try it. And he's like, had enough with it. And I was like, she's in the freezer? Why didn't they call, like, they didn't kill her. Why didn't they call somebody?
And why did they bury her in the shed?
Yeah, that was crazy.
Why didn't they take her out to the forest?
Yeah, also, if you're 16 and still have a dollhouse like that outside, like,
Yeah, red flag.
yeah.
Why didn't you just make it look like it got eaten by a wolf or whatever, like all the dogs?
Why didn't Bridget just let Ginger eat her? I mean, honestly.
Yeah, she should have eaten her, because then it wouldn't be in the dollhouse. She ruined a perfectly good dollhouse for a 16-year-old.
Especially how she was just like, I lust for blood. It's like, you have a perfectly good body.
Yeah, why are you out here killing other people? Eat that.
But can we talk about Ginger's final form? Because
Oh, yes, and we have to.
I'm not gonna lie to y'all, them werewolf titties was crazy.
She literally, okay, so we're watching it. She changed. She goes, look at those titties.
I was like, whoa. I don't know. I just thought it should look more dog-like. I really wasn't expecting boobs. And then when I saw them, I was like, wow. That's where the Big Mac budget went.
There's the prosthetic tits.
I would love to know what it was like in the room when they were having the discussion about the build of that. Like, can you imagine? And the director's like, you know what's missing, actually, is breasts.
I mean, she's a girl, so girl werewolves have boobs, right?
Sure, I mean, who's to say? They can do whatever they want. But they were so unhinged.
You know, if you think about it, that's why in Twilight they never had a female wolf transform, because they couldn't show boobs.
Ginger Snaps ruined it for them.
Yeah,
Really ruined it for us all.
I do wonder if they did that because the whole thing is obviously sort of an allegory for the fact that she's changing and her body's changing and she's going through what did she call it? The curse.
The curse.
Yeah.
For her period and it is and it sucks, but I'm like, wow, they really leaned into that allegory all the way.
They fully went into that.
It was a really good, like, prepubescent kind of teen high school horror movie, you know, for girls going through that kind of stuff. But at 32, I was like, what the fuck is going on right now?
Yeah. Oh, it's so unhinged.
I feel like I was watching an episode of Buffy.
Oh,
yeah.
Great show, though.
Good connection.
It is a great show. I love Buffy, but like that's how it felt, especially with the prosthetics and the lack of CGI. Like it just was like, especially when she first starts to transform and they do the angry eyebrows that they do with the vampires.
They had the budget of CW. Like the Flash TV show.
Yes. And this movie honestly would have benefited from being about 30 minutes long. So
Yeah, no, it went
absolutely.
on for an hour 40 minutes. That was like, I was just like, towards the end, we were like, when she visibly says out loud, when is this movie ending? And had to pause it. And she was like, 10 minutes? Okay.
The last like killing, you know, after she drug Sam into the basement and I don't know. I blacked out after Sam died, to be quite honest. I don't know, other than, you know, the titty at the end and the knife wound, that's all I remember.
I like also how he lived in a greenhouse.
Can we talk about their house, though? Like, the way that their room was set up, the texture of the walls.
They were in a
An
prison.
unfinished basement.
They were in a prison.
I feel like it was the set of Prison Break, and they happened to not be filming at the time, and they were like, we can get it on discount.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
mean, it really did with the wrought iron beds, and like they just made it look teeny with like the beads, the hanging beads.
But meanwhile, they're in a fucking dungeon.
One side of the room was like fortune teller's office, the other side is prison, and there was like visible wallpaper difference between the two. Like,
Yeah.
it was like student film. I loved it.
It needed more Fall Out Boy posters to really set the
I don't think
ambiance
Fall Out Boy
alive.
was a thing then.
In 2004, they were starting.
This was 2000.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I told you.
This was, never mind.
Actually, Prince's song "We're Gonna Party Like It's 1999" was based on this movie. Okay, favorite line. What was your favorite line in this movie?
Calling a period the curse. I just was like, all right, that works for me.
I think mine was when the mom asked Bridget, "Oh, should I go talk to her?" And Bridget's like, "No, she thinks it's really cool when you just kind of like let us figure stuff out on our own." And then my favorite was when the mom was like, "You know, I was wondering if that parenting style was working."
That was so funny. She was totally in a different style of a film than they all were. Like, she was
Yeah.
in a comedy.
She was like out here.
I don't really have a favorite quote. I don't know why the movie 13 is playing in my head watching this movie.
What?
So, like, in my mind, I just wanted them
With
to be
Zac Efron?
what?
No.
No, the movie 13 where she's like, no bra, no panties. And then like they're trying to stop a guy spreading an STD, and he just looks at the principal and he's like, try and stop me. It's gonna spread anyway.
I don't remember that. I don't know why I'm thinking.
Okay, you want to talk about Ginger Snap? Watch the movie 13.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's a good.
It's got what's her name in it? Evan Rachel Wood.
Oh, I love her. I'll have to watch it. So my favorite line was right when Ginger's found out that she's having her period and she's sitting at the table eating that disgusting non-chicken nugget, and everybody's just watching her eat. And she says, I wish this was baby's legs.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I was like, Ginger, what?
Ginger, they were so angsty at dinner. I was like, yo, y'all just need to calm down.
And
It
I
is
like how
not that serious.
And I like how the dad, unfazed by everything, still eating his fucking chicken thigh.
that man wanted to get blown
Yeah,
up in
that
that house.
he did. He said one of these days.
He was ready to go.
He really was. He was in the movie and never really spoke. I just feel like he was just there. I feel like they pulled one of the cinematographers in and were like, just sit.
He just got a SAG card for it, and then that's it.
That's it.
And that cast guy was just like, wait, I'm getting at how much money?
A Big Mac.
They only bought 6 Big Macs, so they had to split it.
They gave him a gift card to Tim Hortons and told him to fuck off.
If you had directed this movie or written this movie, how would you have changed it?
I would put Shakira in there.
Wow. Okay.
Werewolf.
Oh,
She's a
no.
she-wolf
Oh,
in the
I get it.
closet.
Okay. All right. You redeemed yourself because I
Yeah.
was really confused. I think the first thing, restructuring the budget, would probably go to hair and makeup and get that fucking wig off Bridget's
Yes.
head.
Or everyone has Bridget's wig.
Or everyone has the same wig. Even the werewolf final form deserves the wig.
I would watch that. I honestly, now I want to Photoshop that wig into every film. Like, imagine Jurassic Park. They're wearing the wig.
With just Bridget's wig.
You know, now that we're talking about wigs, my job does this thing where we do like JCPenney style photos with a bunch of our coworkers and make a calendar for our VP. And we're doing one this year, and the theme is white trash NASCAR.
Wow.
So I bought a sick mullet wig.
If you want to know, we live 30 minutes from an actual
Boy, you are
NASCAR
giving
racetrack.
away our location.
Yeah, people are going to go geo-track you. I think you're good.
The birds are gonna
30 minutes is a wide radius. I don't think Ginger's going to snap into your backyard after this. I think you're safe.
I don't know.
You might need to keep a hammer behind your bed just in
Yeah.
case.
If you think
Yeah.
I don't have hammers behind the bed, you're wrong.
Tierney, what would you change about the film?
I think I would make it an episode of Buffy and have Buffy in there. I think that would make it great.
Yeah, they do need a character that you can really root for because you're not rooting for any of them.
No, I mean I liked the drug dealer a lot, and I was sad that he died.
Yeah,
I
but
thought
did
he
you
was
like him
great.
because of his character? Or
It's
did
the
you like him
fun.
because he was hot?
I liked his character. I thought he was like,
I was just checking, man. Dang.
Here we
No,
go.
I
Here's
thought
the
he was-
tangent about how the ferryman was beautiful in Ghost Ship. And you
listen,
wanted to fuck him.
I like bad guys. Sue me.
At least you liked his character. I just looked at him and was like, oh, pretty. And when he had the... What was he doing? I mean, I know that he worked for some sort of like greenery company or whatever.
Mhm.
And at some point he was holding a chainsaw and he was like circling the van slowly. That was odd. What was that about?
I think he did like landscaping.
Oh, we lost Kelly.
Kelly.
My
My mo-
mother-in-law was trying
And
to call
that's
me.
why you put your phone on Do Not Disturb.
This is when we witnessed the divorce.
No, I always joke around. The only way I'm leaving this relationship in a body bag because she's going to kill me.
I wish that Ginger had killed more people. Like, who do you wish she had killed?
Dad.
Wow, dude, fuck everyone else. That dad's
I
got to
kind
go.
of wish she killed the mom next door, the one that was screeching about the dog in the beginning.
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen that. That was such a good setup in the beginning for her to come back, and she never did.
Yeah, there was a lot of characters in that movie that they just showed and just never did.
It had to have been a non-union gig. I think that they just had people come in for an under 5 and were like, that's it.
Here's your $25
Here's
gift
your-
card to Tim Hortons. Go have
Here's
fun.
your Big Mac. Bye.
Well, they shot it all in 6 weeks.
It shows.
So pretty quickly. They were like, you're in. Okay, you're out. Okay, you're in. Okay, you're out.
I was impressed that they shot it in 6 weeks because I thought they shot it in under 1.
This isn't a home movie? I thought it was a school project.
It almost felt like giving an amateur film student a camera and it's like, go.
This is your senior project?
This is your project.
It really was the 2 girls telling the story of their life in high school when they were in college doing a student film.
Yes,
that's
really what it was.
absolutely. I found it really interesting. The guy who directed this, John Fawcett, he directed a lot of Orphan Black, which is an exceptional show, unlike this. He said, I know that I wanted to make a metamorphosis movie and a horror film. I also knew that I wanted to work with girls. What kind of quote is that? What does that
Okay,
even mean?
that sounds a little... I'm sorry.
It sounds a
It
little
does.
predatory.
Yeah, he's like,
Yeah, there's something going on there, and now it alludes to the fact that the boobs on the wolf were really a problem as well, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a problem on set. The director kept stealing the werewolf.
He kept taking it home. He kept checking it out like a library card. Oh, I'll return it at the end of the week, I swear.
The latex boobs are getting weird. I gotta bring it home.
I want to know who was in the wolf costume. Like, do you think it was Ginger?
Oh,
No.
It wasn't.
I like to believe it was a hired gymnast that like can do like weird contortions and stuff, but was told to just act like a dog.
or what if they got like, they're like, oh, let's look at our local ad for puppy play and get that guy.
Okay. When you were watching it, were you at any point like, God, I wish we had picked a different film?
Kelly definitely did.
In the last like maybe 20 minutes, I was like, why the fuck did we pick this? Then I
Yeah.
was like, you know what? Out of the 2, I chose this one.
I gave her the option.
I was like, that's
I
on
know.
me. That's on me.
I picked purposely a good film and a trashy film, and of course we ended with the one that
But this podcast wouldn't be good if we were watching Birds. Like, let's be honest. Like, Ginger Snapped. It has a
yeah.
trilogy.
It was the right choice.
It was the right choice.
what I really hope is that we inspire everyone to watch this film because it was literally the worst movie I've seen in probably 20 years.
Did you see the
I've recommended it.
Did you
already.
see the rating it got on Rotten Tomatoes of a
No.
90?
No, it didn't.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah. It got a
Mhm.
90 on Rotten
Why?
Tomatoes.
Never mind. Don't
And I
answer
think
the
it was
why.
peer reviewed and it had a 48, which I loved. 2 drastic differences.
Yeah, I don't even know how much they spent the budget on the Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, they paid people off.
Apparently, this was the 5th highest grossing Canadian film in 2001.
Well, that tells you the stock in their film economy.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Did you know another fun fact? This is actually, Meryl Streep quotes this movie a lot in her preparation work for Sophie's Choice. And after she watched this film, she said, let's go back. I would like to kill both the kids.
No, but that's crazy.
I fucking love Meryl Streep for that.
I made that
What
up,
an
guys.
icon.
That is not real. That is not true at
Oh.
all. That is
I
totally
would-
made up.
I was
Tierney
like,
knew.
damn.
Tierney knew. Tierney was
What
like,
an
I smell
icon.
bullshit immediately.
Always.
Imagine Meryl Streep sitting down watching that whole hour and 48 minutes, and just after that was like, I would have killed both. I would have totally believed you.
Also, Rosie O'Donnell is quoted saying, this scared me out of being a lesbian.
Which, to go off of that,
Oh, really? How?
were
Please
the
do.
sisters? No. But like, I felt like the sisters kind of had like a incestuous thing going.
Yes.
on.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
They did.
Yeah.
There was weird sexual tension.
There was weird sexual tension.
I was
in
like,
the
is this
sisters.
Game of Thrones?
Yeah, Bridget was a little too obsessed. Bridget was literally like tracking her period and like all of this stuff, and I was like, I don't think that's coming from a place of tracking a werewolf.
Yeah.
She was
So
upset.
she was like, you're ovulating.
Yeah, she's ovulating.
She's
You gotta
ovulating.
stop.
Like, who does that? I
Yeah,
don't
why
even know
didn't
that
anyone
guy.
pick that as their favorite quote? Because that was so unhinged. She literally was telling people she's ovulating.
Then asked her later, did you have unprotected sex? Like, what are you, my fucking mom? Shut up.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna get away from the movie. I think we've beat it like a dead horse. Why did you guys decide that you're gonna do the podcast? Like, what was the impetus behind that? What made you want to do it?
It actually was my idea.
Oh,
I just wanted to, this is going to sound really fucking corny.
no, it won't. We'll like it.
I wanted to take a hobby of my wife's and like embrace it a little bit, because we always talk about like involving each other in our hobbies. And I was just like, she really likes horror movie. Like, let me try to get involved in that a little bit.
That's so sweet.
He told me his idea, because we had made jokes for years about making a podcast about things that we loved, and he was like, "All right, hear me out. What if we made a podcast about watching horror movies, but I'm watching them?" And I was like, "Oh, that is interesting." And I was like, "You know what? I think it would be good to get Tierney on, because she's like, Tierney and I have known each other since we were little kids, grown up, been friends forever." And we've both been horror fans, and she kind of has like that background in cinematography and like knowing a lot more about movies than we do. We just kind of sound stupid when we're describing them. Tierney has knowledge.
I gave a great synopsis. Ginger snap.
I went to film school. That's why I'm on the podcast. I went to film school.
That's the only reason.
just step on our friendship.
No, I love the dynamic between the three of you, and you all have very distinct voices, so it's obvious who's talking. Sometimes when you listen to a podcast with multiple people, you get lost in the mix, and you guys balance each other out really well. It's really a fun
I would hope
listen.
being the only guy that my voice wouldn't sound like them.
Oh my god.
I think I'd be more concerned if my voice sounded like you.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I do think you should incorporate a bird every single episode, though.
Like the background of me just becomes more and more unhinged with birds.
Yeah, every episode.
We just start including little bird noises through the episode.
So what are your goals for the podcast? What do you like? Are you going to bring on other people? Are you going to do, guests on it?
Yeah, I think once I would like to consider bringing guests on in the second season.
Me too.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
This
But
is
I
only
think-
going on the second season, not the first. Could you imagine?
good.
The
I just
first
wanna
season
make
is only me.
Just talking to
Talk to
yourself.
by
I did do that once. I did do an episode where I talked to myself. It was riveting.
But I think what I'd like to do is when we bring guests on, depending on, how comfortable they are, but I'd like for people to come on to watch a movie, the scariest movie they had watched as a kid, under the age of, 13. Like, what movie truly frightened you as a kid and either made you love horror movies or hate horror movies? And that's the movie that we watch and discuss.
Oh,
on
that'd
the
be
episode.
cool. I didn't think of that.
That's a really good hook. You need to do that. That is really
Thank
a
you.
good one. What's the movie that hooked you into horror in the first place off of that question?
I would say that the first horror movie I remember watching as a kid was actually Chucky, but I didn't have the same effect on me that it had on
Which
Jeremy.
that's so
clearly.
funny that you fell in love with horror because of Chucky and Jeremy hated horror because of Chucky.
Yeah, I mean, I remember watching like slasher things, and I used to watch CSI when I was a little kid, and
That tracks.
Like-
After Survivor.
I was like, oh, this is great, and then it just kind of kept watching. Goosebumps, Are You Afraid of the
Those
Dark?
terrified me as a kid.
Dude, we watched
Yeah.
we watched
Oh
a
my God,
synopsis
yeah.
of
I'm such a fucking baby.
is it
It's Goosebumps because there was the mask.
Well, the Goosebumps, but there was the other one, the Nickelodeon show.
Or Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yeah. We watched a synopsis of one of the episodes, and he actually got scared watching the YouTube synopsis of the episode.
Please record him reacting to that, because that is so funny.
We have been recording him watching the episodes, but our camera kind of killed like halfway through some of the episodes, so we'll post bits. But I would definitely like to do like short horror films on YouTube as like a side special one day and just watch him in real time react, because it is pretty amusing.
Oh yeah, that would be hilarious.
Oh, if you're in a room with me watching horror movies,
He just gets mad.
I go through all of the emotions at once.
We're making you grieve. Okay,
Yeah.
We're at the very end of this here. Plug your podcast really quickly.
So we are from Horror and the Hesitant podcast. We review horror movies with a bit of a twist. Tierney and I have been horror lovers since we were kids, and Jeremy here is a horror hater learning to love horror. New episodes every Tuesday on Spotify. Check us out on Instagram, Horror and the Hesitant, Twitter, Facebook, eventually TikTok.
And we should have Apple podcast set up
Yes.
soon.
Good. Yeah, it takes a second for it to go through. Okay, you plugged your podcast. Now unplug your podcast.
Okay, bye.
No, it is genuinely going to time us out right now. So that's actually excellent. I love that. I loved having you guys on. I hope you had fun.
Yes,
Oh,
we
I did. We had a lot of
Yes.
fun.
We hope to have you join us.
Yeah.
Start thinking of your, most scariest.
It would be
movie.
The Ring. The Ring is the one we'd have to.
Oh,
That
that's a
scared
good
me
one.
so badly as a
Fuck
kid.
that. I ain't doing that. I ain't fucking doing that.
Jeremy's already looking at me like, no, please don't.
Sorry, Jeremy. I was at my grandma's house watching it, and literally the phone rang, and she played along like it was the movie.
Oh, fuck her.
Oh.
Don't say fuck my grandma. Oh my God, Jeremy.
Like, that's a dick move.
Thanks so much for tuning in on this very special Halloween episode. We really loved having the horror and the hesitant on, and we hope to do more crossover episodes. So thank you again, Kelly, Jeremy, and Tyranny from the Horror and the Hesitant. You can listen to that podcast wherever you stream this one. It is also on those platforms. I don't know why I'm talking 500 miles per hour. Chris Cappuccino, you're fired. Thanks for listening. Everybody be safe out there. It is Halloween weekend. Go have so much fun, so much candy, but don't forget to brush your teeth after because we don't play. Next week is going to be a very special episode. We're going to be talking about it is a veterans holiday. We're going to have a gay former Marine on to talk all the things. I didn't know why I'm British all of a sudden, but don't ask me and I won't tell you. And speaking of Halloween, we've only got like a week left in this election, so get all your troops together and go vote. Because it's going to be a really scary time for us here if you don't. Okay? A little threat never hurt anyone? Okay, I don't know if that's how we want to end it.
Beep,
Oh.
beep, beep.
Oh, that was fun, you guys!
Yay.
Not everybody not being enthused at all when I say that. God, glad I could torture you.
Yay.
I did my little yippee. I'm kind of still thinking about the wig.